Hi guys, welcome back to Sorcery TCG UK. We're based in the UK, hence the name. Today we're going to be doing a list I call Throne Control, but bouncing this between a few friends of mine, one including Jeff Rosado, who's in the Facebook group, who's been posting some really cool deck lists, and definitely go check them out. Um, Seems he's printing the cards out to actually have like a physical representation of them, which is super cool, and always appreciate the effort there. Yeah, this is a little list I called Phone Control. I just want to pre-apologize if I'm out of it or sound funny today. I was on stream with Mike over at our Art House Collector for um, up until like 6 in the morning, so I'm actually shattered. But super fun and massive thanks to Mike. If you get the chance, go and check out his channel. Make sure you like and comment. It really helps him. And while you're here, do that here. So let's jump into it. So the card we're basing the deck around is this one here, the Immortal Throne. Whenever anyone plays a spell with cost equal to the number of level counters on the Immortal Throne, they draw a card and add a level counter. At level 8 or more, an avatar here an avatar here alone wins the game. Okay, so you've got to have it here alone. You've got to have 8 counters on it, and you may ask, well, what's the zero? How are you going to get the first counter on? By casting a zero, because it comes into play with zero, right? So the number of level counters on the Immortal Throne. So I'm pretty sure sites, just like in Magic, are CMC zero. So by playing the site, you're adding a counter on this. So essentially, the first time you play it, you can draw a card. You can play it, play a zero, and draw a card. And then we're just going to go through the list. I've got everything in numbered order, so we can just go through and see some of the choices. Starting off in the one section of this deck is it's weird. I had to build this deck differently. I normally work around minions, then spells, then the artifacts on top. Just but this time I worked differently. I worked from the CMC, like the casting cost of a card. Uh, so Uh, we've got one here, so these are all our ones, and they are all fast mana. We're running 2 potions because a lot of our high end here requires the potions, and we kind of don't want to run too many too many firesides. So this is just a really good way to counter that and make sure we can curve up into our top end. And then we've got one for air, one for terror. This is just so these are really good for first turn plays. So first turn you can play this and then drop a wizard down, draw a card. First turn you can play this, drop a frontier settler down, and then on your next turn you're ramping. And then I've gone for some choices here. So let's have a look. I've gone for the Frontier Settlers just because they are like my favourite ramp in the game and probably the best ramp because they actually put the site into play instead of drawing like the land surveyors. We've got a Seasoned Sellsword here, which is a 2 for a 4, which is just great numbers. And avatars nearby have discarded card, gain control of Seasoned Sellsword. So I've got this, like, on the front face, that drawback seems pretty downside-ish. But what you do is you just hang back here, man. You just play the throne here, hang back here, using the fire elementals, the avatar to use its fireballs as removal, so you constantly got removal, and you put the seasoned sellswords essentially just to defend your character. If they play the globe, we're in trouble. But if we're down here, we're fine. And the seasoned sellswords can just stand there and just protect your avatar. It's a 4, unless they're bringing their avatar over to yours and playing Pathfinder. It's just not going to happen. The battle mage does make this kind of sideboardable, like you side it out. But I really like this combination of using this 2 here to draw, because the bearer takes the damage of the CMC cost, equal to the card's cost. Yeah, CMC is just converted mana cost, if people are wondering. We've got a wizards package here. There are 3s, so that was our 2s, and now we're going to move into our 3s. I didn't put too many 2s in because I think a lot of people curve out on 2. They normally play something on the second turn because otherwise they feel like they're not playing. So your opponent should cover this. I may mention that um, this can the downside to the throne is that your opponent can play and draw spells as well, but they're giving you a counter. So what you get out of it's probably a lot more than what they're going to get, unless they just have a combo to win. We have our wizards and we have the rest of our fast mana. And this is I've overlooked this card so much recently because I just didn't think it was any good, right? But looking closer, like this card's amazing in this game because it's a 1-for-1, but it's a 1-for-1 that can trade with their top end, which is really nice, or their minions that are just causing so much issue for you. Um, but yeah, and it's a free drop, so it's like it's like nice removal in a free drop. I really liked it. Um, and it's not like lightning bolts like random minion at that site. This is actually like your target, an exact minion anywhere. I really like that about this card. And if I didn't put any lightning bolts and stuff in because this essentially is a lightning bolt. Your second effect here that lets you fire fireballs. You know, there's our throne sitting in at the fourth mana slot. That was our third. And we've got, another card that I overlooked again. Genesis may kill a minion here. It's just really good removal. Like the main thing about this deck is that I wanted to build it without the strategy being I'm going to beat them down with minions or I'm going to burn them out with spells. I really wanted to build around that Immortal Throne. It's a shame we don't have anything to get to it a little bit faster. Maybe I'd make a second copy of this in the form of Dream Quest and Pact with the Devil, because it's a unique. Dream Quest's the only one that will actually become a second copy, which we probably put in. To be fair, I'll make that adjustment and we'll put the um, Dream Quest in just to have a second copy of the Immortal Throne, so we're kind of guaranteed to see it because we draw 3, 4, 5 second turn, 6 if we got a wizard. That's 6 cards out of 40. So we can dig pretty deep, So if we've got 2 of them, we're just going to guarantee it. Dream Quest is a good shout. We're definitely doing that. May have to push it up to 41. Drop a wizard or something. But yeah, this is the whole point of building, on stream and helping everybody, get an idea of what my mind goes through when I build a deck and how it's constantly changing in this game. If you didn't see it yesterday, Mike was on with Mike and Tony, and he started mentioning about how Aruvian Legends is gonna have like some really cool stuff in, man. Some really cool stuff, and I'm sure there was some spoilers dropped. So go and check that out. We have the vampires here. This again is just an amazing tempo card because comes out it's a 5-drop. That was our 4 drops. So on our 5th counter, it's a 4, which kind of draws it back a little bit. But using a mix, you don't really, this is like a say they've got their 4 or they've got their 5s out at the time. If they come close enough to you, you just you block it. This dies, but you gain 4. Uh, it's just super good tempo for me, and that's the thing. With this deck, you just want to control the game state and sit back and let them overplay, and play into this throne card here. Um, you will eventually have your top end that can beat them down, but it's mostly about the throne. That's what I wanted the deck about. Earthquake, super good removal, and essentially, yeah, just really good removal. I really like the card. Um, Moving up to our 6 now. We've got 2 Flame Waves, a Cone of Flame that I thought would be fun, that will probably get replaced with something a little bit more powerful, and the 2 Grandmaster Wizards. You need this draw. You're by that stage in the game. You're either going to be ahead of draw or you're going to be really behind. And this is just once again a good tempo card to catch up with draw. And this is just really good removal. This is like some of the best removal in the game. This Flame Wave. As long as you know you're playing Flame Wave and you play around it, because it doesn't actually hit the last tile, I don't think. Yeah, it's 4 slots here, so it'll be up until here, and this will hit for 7. So as long as you're in this corner here, because it doesn't come from that corner, it comes from this one here. You're either in this corner over here or taking 1 damage in this corner over here. If you play around Flame Wave, it can be devastating to your opponent because they're not going to be playing around Flame Wave. I can tell you that for nothing, especially in this early format. And then finally, one to our sevens. Before I go into the sevens, I will just mention it is the avatar file we're using for this deck. I thought about multiple different things, like maybe the Death Speaker, just to get the multiple draws from the wizards, to get the Genesis on this guy up here. It might be, and the Genesis, that's not Genesis, that's a tap, I believe. Just to get, an extra bit of utility out of these 3 cards here, and this guy actually. But I was just like, you know, this has got built-in removal. I still think this is like one of the best avatars of the original alpha lot because of the built-in removal, which is just, it's like having an extra card all the time. It turns your sights into draw. And then we've got our stuff here. We've got our sevens because I found out from Jeff Rosado is that when the 7th spell is cast, the 8th counter is put on. So you don't actually need an 8th drop, because I was running Creator Horizon here before, which was cool. Yesterday we got to see some sample versions of that and playtest cards. I think that's still one of my favourite cards. We've got Ancient Dragon, Death Dealer, and this Titan. But essentially all this stuff can change, because as soon as you cast a 7, it's going to... you're going to win the game if your avatar's there. Which I wonder what happens when you go past 8. Nothing. But yeah, that is it. So this top end can actually be anything you want, because as soon as you cast it, you essentially win. But I wanted a few options just in case we're in a losing state and we need to quickly get one out to just regain some tempo, like the Death Dealer. Yeah, so we got the Dream Quest to add in. I'll quickly touch on the oh my goodness. I'll quickly touch on what's it called, on the control, on the lands for this. So I went with a really, really simple. I've got a utility lands down the bottom, our basics to the left, and then this is where the deck might come a little bit expensive, because you do need all of these, and depending on where they sit in the market, which I don't think is going to be too crazy. It's not like Magic and it's been around for God knows when, and it's, all the jewels have been battered and beaten, and everybody's played them to death with no sleeves. These are all going to get played with sleeves, and there is quite a lot out there, especially within beta as well. So hopefully they hold a substantial number. I'm thinking they essentially settle where fetch lands are, and we will get fetch lands in this game. It's not mess around. This will settle eventually. Uh, where I think where fetch lands are on a 20, 25 each, 30 quid each, or whatever. I think that's a fair price for them, especially because of how new the game is. But obviously there is like a potential in like 2 years for this windmill to just shoot up if they don't reprint it. But there should be enough data around to keep everybody playing. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Peace out, and yeah, look forward to seeing you in the next one.